This is Pastor Darren Tinsley with AG Bible School and Last Advent Church. I want to invite you out to our No Time to Lose Revival Weekend that's going to be taking place in Irving, Texas on November 4th through the 6th. That's November 4th through the 6th. Again, we want to invite you out to these revival weekends, which is a continuation from our No Time to Lose camp meeting, as we're doing follow-up, seeking to encourage the saints as we think about the work that God has given us to do. In these revival weekends, we're not just going to talk about things that are transpiring in the world. We see that, and it is very important that we understand these events. But we also must understand what are we to be doing at this time? Are we just to wait for the crisis to come? Are we just to forecast a coming crisis? Are we to move out of the cities and wait and forecast a crisis to come? What would God have us to do? In these meetings, we want to specifically talk about how God has given us a blueprint to be the salt of the earth. If you've been following us over the last, I would say, few months, generally on Sabbath afternoons, we do Bible studies. We've been talking about the medical missionary servant. We've been talking about the parables and how they are links in a chain of truth that shows us how to engage in this work in a very simple way. All of us are not called to do the same thing. All of us are not called to preach and stand on a large scale, but there's something for all of us to do. In our homes, there's something for us to do. In our communities, something for us to do, even in allowing our churches to be educational centers where people can be prepared to cooperate with God in the work that He has designed for them to do. You've heard me speak on a number of occasions, the times that I've gone back and forth to Romania and participated in the camp meeting there, and the inspiration that it has been to myself and to the work here. And those things combining with just things that God has been showing us in His Word, we have been turning a page, if you will. One of the things that I've confessed, that over the past years, many things that I've done has just simply been largely just to be a better church, right? You know, you visited these churches and you've seen these things, and what can we do better? And while doing ministry, while traveling, while preaching, while doing Bible studies, while baptizing, still there was this disconnect, and like just a light bulb moment, if you will. I said, we've just been trying to be a better church, and we have not truly understood how to engage in this work. And we'll unpack that more as we talk about these, as we come to these revival meetings. But one of the things that God is unfolding to not just myself, to others, different people I talk to, you see that the same thing. God is moving His people to engage in the same practical work. But the work of Elijah in the schools of the prophets, and I shy away from the term schools of the prophets. It's become very generic in this season, if you will. But through the pandemic, there have been lessons that I believe that God desired and desires for us to understand. And one of the important things that was brought out in lessons from the pandemic was Elijah's altar, in comparison to the altar of the 400 prophets, priests, teachers of Israel in that time of their spiritual decline. Elijah's altar was of such that Elijah himself was able to put it back together. And that's one of the things that was an eye-opening for me, is that God is showing us how to place these little altars, in a sense, memorials of his memorials, so that individuals can really see the work of God being done continually, but on a small scale, that we're all able to participate in this work. And these are some of the things that we want to bring out as we talk about in these revival meetings, specifically on Sunday, but even Friday evening and all day Sabbath. And then on Sunday, we want to really have a spiritual workshop to see what are some of the things that we can begin to understand that can be implemented in the cities where we are, because God wants us to be the light of the world. The pandemic has shown us that we cannot continue with business as usual, because as the saying goes, if we continue to do what we're doing and expect different results, then brothers and sisters, the saying is that we're insane. The reality is that we're not preparing to meet Christ as we should. So brothers and sisters, again, I want to invite you out to these revival weekends on November the 4th through the 6th, and that will be in Irving, Texas. And then on the following weekend, the 11th through the 13th, going to be in Maryland at the Country Inn and Suites Hotel by the BWI Airport. That's November 11th through the 14th. I'll be in Maryland, joined by Pastor Kofer. But November the 4th through the 6th will be in Irving, Texas. I'll be there. I pray that you will be there. And until then, God bless.